Hello, I'm Nicola from Daisy and Grace, and back in the summer I was exhibiting at the Festival of Quilts here in the UK, and I had the great privilege of meeting Jenny from Missouri Star Quilt Company. Hi Jenny, hi Missouri Star. I got to show her my Quilt As You Go templates and the wonderful quilts that you can create from them, and she loved them and took them back to America with her. Thanks Jenny. I'm now really excited and really thrilled because I'm partnering with Missouri Star to bring you my Quilt As You Go templates. And Jenny is going to show you some of the wonderful things you can do with them. And I hope you love them as much as I do and as much as Jenny does. So I'm going to pass you over to Jenny and I just wish you all happy sewing.
Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I'm here today with Misty and Natalie, and we are so excited because it's Black Friday and we've got an awesome project for you today. Take a look at this quilt behind me. Isn't this great? We all three of us love hexagons, and this is a quilt as you go method. So it's like one and done, and we love those kind of projects. So I was in England this summer. Sorry, girls.
We were not. Missed out this time. Maybe next time.
But I was in England for the Birmingham Quilt Festival, and there was a booth there called Daisy and Grace, and it was just wonderful projects, all these wonderful projects, and I was standing there looking at them, and I got caught up in a demo that Nicola was doing, and she was showing how to make this, and I was like, wait, what? And whenever I find something new like that, I just want to show you. I just want to bring it home and show you. So we are partnering with her to show you how to make this Quilt As You Go hexagon project. And it's just so cool. And when the girls saw me doing it, they had the same feelings. They got real excited about it too. So let's show them how to make one of these. This is the little pod we're talking about right here. And is pod the right word? I don't know if that's the right word exactly.
But just a little finished hexie.
A little finished hexie. Yep. So the templates come like this in 2 pieces. Now, the wonderful part about this, well, let's just show them because it'll do it. So Natalie, because I was over sewing like a crazy woman and I wanted to see what's happening, Natalie did most of my cutting for me. So I'm going to let her show you how she did that and how she cut this because it makes a lot of sense. Natalie has a mathematical brain, and so she designs a lot alongside me, and she figures out a lot of the hard stuff, you know. I kind of do the fun stuff, and so go ahead. I'll let you talk now.
Well, I'm going to cut off the selvage because that way I don't have to worry about it getting caught in my hexagon.
Good plan.
And we cut a 6-inch strip because that is the distance between these 2 flat sides. And if you fold it then in thirds, so it's still with the fabric, fold on the fold, you've got a, normal strip. And you can fold it in thirds.
And it is important to use back yardage on this back, because it's bigger. There's not a pre-cut that fits with it.
It's pretty wasteful to use a layer cake.
Yeah, the pre-cut we used for this was this sugar sack one by Whistler Studios for Wyndham Fabrics, but that just is the middle block.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that fits perfectly. You can see it. Whoops. It's just a really easy.
Yeah,
so it's low waist if
your
middle fits on your 5-inch square, and then your backing fits on a 6-inch strip, and you just cut these little sides off. And I cut through all the folds so you don't have to worry about, trimming those later. And if your 6-inch strip is straight, it lines right up with the sides of the template. Whoops, almost chopped off my finger. That's okay.
Took off a finger.
So then you've got 6 background squares cut at once, which makes it super convenient, and it goes by pretty fast.
It does go by fast, and it went by really fast for me because she did it all.
It was a big group effort.
Yes.
All right, so then you need to cut your middles, and for that you're going to take the middle, which makes sense, and you're just going to lay it on that square and cut your corners off and get that. You also need batting. And so, I don't know about you, but I always have scraps of batting left over, and this is a great project for using up those scraps. And we would lay this on, well, we probably did about 4 layers too, didn't we?
No, when you're cutting batting, it's easier to...
Push so hard!
Yeah, no, it's easier to just do...
It gets a little dangerous.
Like
2 at a time.
So I just folded it over one time and cut 2 at a time because I had a harder time going through all those thicknesses.
Right.
Don't want to cut yourself.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so then here's this back piece, and this becomes the back of your quilt. at the end of the day. And so we're gonna lay this down and we're gonna lay this right here on top of this, just like this. What that gives us is a grid to lay everything so it lines up perfectly. So in that little middle right there, we're gonna put a piece of batting like this, and it fits perfectly. And we're gonna put this top square on there too. Now what you wanna do is you want to use some pins. I have a plethora of pins here because we all use different pins. And these are those magic pins. And they're magic because they're made out of silicone and you can iron right on top of them, which I love.
And it's super useful for this
And
project.
I didn't know that was the pin thing was going to be a big deal for me, but Nicola recommended the pins and I was just like, okay.
Turns out they're amazing.
Turns out they're amazing. You know, and I'm kind of a make-do girl, so I use any pin that I can come, but it turns out
for this,
I really like these.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is you're going to put a pin through your center like this so that it doesn't move or go anywhere. And then you remove your template and this is what you're left with. So let me go ahead and show you how to do this. So we're gonna start here on a side like this, and we're gonna fold it up till it meets the fabric, just like this. And I've kind of finger pressed this down. And then I fold it up again over the edge of the fabric. And I'm gonna stick a pin in here like this about halfway. And then I'm just going to rotate. And I'm going to do the same thing all the way around like this. So again, finger press and roll up and put a pin in there.
It's really interesting that you're doing it that way because maybe it's the difference between being right-handed and left-handed, but I fold from the top. So when I put mine together,
Interesting.
And I did too, yeah.
Yeah, so when I put mine together, I went ahead and lined them up. Your batting and your top are the same size. And I actually was kind of okay with not putting a pin in the middle because I was in a hurry. But it's easier for me to fold it down from the top and then I hold that, you know, with my fingers and just
That's
go around this way.
interesting. And I actually put, you know, when I get this little corner folded up, because if this is right in the center, then you get those perfect mitered corners. And so when I fold mine up, then I put my pin right through that mitered corner like this.
To hold that miter in
That
place.
hold the miter and then pin down and then I turn it. So this is what's fun about a project like this is that the fun is in getting it done, you know, in getting it.
Well, and I think it's really important to see that as you're pinning, it doesn't lay perfectly flat. It looks a little rumpled because for me, I was like, oh man, how is this going to work? But that's how it's supposed to look. So don't panic if it's a little rumpled.
And
that's just part of the pinning process.
And then this last one, you come down here and you're back where you started and I move my pin along so that I can do it. And you just have these two sides coming down and I just fold up, move this thread, oh no, flatten, and then I just fold up and I fold up again like this and it makes you keep that perfect miter. And then what I did, I would just sit and do these. I did a whole stack of these and then I'm going to slide this back so it kind of lays over that edge. And then you iron them. Actually, don't iron, you press them. So make sure that little corner is staying down. And literally, you just hold the iron on there. Give it a shot of steam. There you go. A little shot of steam.
in a minute.
And it stays nice. And everything all of a sudden lays flat. Now, there's two ways to do this, obviously. Well, obviously, there's more than two ways. But sewing them together. So Nicola did hers by hand, all the way around here by hand. And I want to show you that stitch. But of course, I was like a horse to water. I want to see what these are going to look like. So I did mine by machine. And you can see right here, this is mine by machine. And basically, I put it under the edge of the needle and just top stitched all the way around this. Now I have one here that I did in gray. It looks horrible, but...
I wanted you to be able to see it.
I wanted you to be able to see the stitching, you know, but when you use...
If your thread matches your background fabric, it doesn't show at all.
Yeah.
Your thread should match your background fabric. Let me just say that.
Yeah, so don't sew it in gray, but that way you can see it.
Your background
Now,
fabric is
right.
gray, of course.
Right. Now, if you're, you want to use your thread to match that background fabric. Now, if you're going to sew it by hand, what you're going to do is I come, actually, let me clip off this little knot. I'm going to make a single turn knot. So I'm going to lay my thread around, wrap it around my finger one time, and then kind of roll that off and slide it down. That's how I do my knots. And I'm going to make sure that my knot landed, wait a minute. Oh, here it is.
Just a little high.
My knot landed right here. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this excess thread, because when you sew by hand, you want to hide the knot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here like this, and I'm going to come out right on the edge here of the fold. And you'll see it'll stop right there, but if I give it a little wiggle, it'll pop right in, and then that knot is gone. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to stitch this like we're stitching a binding. So we're going to come around. Oh, now I'm caught on my pin. So I'm just going to remove that one. If they fight with me, they don't get to stay. All right, so then we're just going to keep going around here like this, and we'll hand stitch these down. And one of the things I love about this kind of a product is that it just is fun to take with you. You know, so once you get them all pinned and you're ready to hand sew them down, you can go. So we're just going to go straight in here like this. Right where we came out, we're going to go straight in, and we're going to come up at the fold just right here.
So that is just like binding.
It's just exactly like binding. Straight down. You don't go through to the back.
Right.
And up. So straight down and up. And honestly, you can go all the way around your top and get those done.
So if you're joining them together by hand, is it a ladder stitch? Or do you just kind of like whip stitch them together?
So basically, there's several schools of thought on that. The ladder stitch works, and there's also, Nicola has her own little stitch that she uses. And let me get down this side, and I'll show you that little stitch. I'll just finish this one side right here. And I'm just going to knot it. I wouldn't normally, stop it right here, but I'm going to stop it and show how she does that little stitch where it sews together. And she has a cute little video on her site of showing how she stitched these together. And I thought that was a great stitch. And she said she thought she was doing a ladder stitch. And she said, and then she started looking up ladder stitches, and she's like, and she couldn't find what stitch she was doing. And so she just named it the Nicola stitch. So I'm good with that.
Cool.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
She gets her own stitch. Good with that. So basically, again, you're going to hide your knot. So you're going to slide it through here and give that knot a pull. And my knots, sometimes they're too big to kind of go through. Let me see if I can wiggle that one through there without. There we go. It went, yay.
So you line them up facing
You line
each
them
other?
up face to face. Yeah. And here, this part hasn't been sewn yet. Now, you would sew down all your fronts first. And what she did was she came straight across like this. And then wherever she went in, right here, where she was straight, she'd come up about 1/4 of an inch, or however far. I didn't measure it. Like maybe 1/8.
Yeah, it looks like.
And then you'd come back across the other side like this, and right where you came out. So it's kind of like it's a special Nicola stitch. So again, through the edge, and then across right here. And it just brings them together. And then again, slide it under.
It's very similar to ladder.
Is it similar to ladder?
Yeah, I think it's just like the way you hold the fabric is different.
Well, and that can be different from
person to person.
and left hand to right hand.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at these few. You open it up and see you can't really see those stitches. Those are pretty good. We were so excited to do these that we just did them on the sewing machine.
Mm-hmm. We did.
Quicker for us and easier. So I'm actually going to clip these apart right here. And Misty, I'm going to have you sew one of these around so you can actually see how fast this was and how fun.
Great.
So basically when I started mine, I started at this edge that comes up so that I'm always sewing so my bottom is tucked under. So, and if you fold your fabric around in a circle, then you'll always have that. You'll always, the corner that you come to will always be on the top.
Right, except for the very last one. It
Yeah.
has 2 open sides.
Well,
But it's not difficult.
That's why I start on that last one. I start on the side that's folded up that is
just to get past it?
Just to get past it.
So now I always started in the middle of a straight side because I wanted to overlap my stitches and not have to worry about that.
Well, and she's so great to have, I mean, she whipped this one up by hand and mailed it to us from England, so we'd have this to show you. And we were just so excited to make these, and we got, oh my gosh, I just can't wait to show you. We have so many things that we did that were so fun.
Yes, we just had a blast. And we're just like top stitching close to the edge here.
Yeah.
With that gray thread.
So you can see. Now remember, you want to match.
Remember, you want to match your thread.
Yeah.
And she just leaves the needle down and pivots at the corner.
At each corner. That's
super easy.
Yeah, those are really good things that, you tend to do rote, and so you think everybody thinks of that, but they don't.
Yeah.
So leave your needle down and pivot at your corners.
Yeah.
Pull your pin out.
And, pull your pins out as you go along.
Where you stitch
I actually kept a little pin cushion right there next to my thing so I could stick them in. And these pins, let me just explain while Misty's finishing up this last side. So these pins are actually all different lengths. And so, can you see that? So some of us like the longer ones, some of us like the shorter ones, do what works best for you. It was just, I love the idea that you could just iron on top of these. Pretty cool. All right, so now we're ready. Let's sew two of these together.
Okay.
We're just going to sew two of these together right here.
And all we do for that is we just sit them together and then zigzag in between.
Okay, now, all honesty, I had some sides like this that didn't line up exactly, and when you're hand sewing, that doesn't matter because you can make it work easier. When you're machine sewing, I just looked for one that was, because they're all pretty close, but one that was really close. And so I started with that, and I just set them together like this, and then I looked at my zigzag, and I didn't want a huge one, and so I just picked a little zigzag. And you're going to back stitch at the top, and so with the gray thread, that's going to look really rough, but you'll be able to see it anyway, how it works. Okay, so now, and basically you just kind of set it in there. Keep with your hands, keep the two pieces together.
Well, and on my presser foot, there is a center mark if you were going to have your needle in the center, and so when I have my two pieces, I just keep them right on that center mark.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Then I know my zigzag is going to catch both sides.
Right. I just had to put on my glasses, my magnifiers, so I could actually see that thing sewn together.
And then I back stitched again there, and then right off the edge. There we go.
Look at that. So now these are together, and you literally just keep putting them together. And as you get your next row, so like if this was all finished, it would be on here like this, and your next row would be finished too. And see, we'd still sew it together by the ends like this, and we would just slide it into that little. So see how that goes like that? You're just going to slide it into there. So you'd sew all of these. And then you come in and sew here, 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 like this, for as long as you wanted. And there was so much freedom with that and with the movement. All right, so actually here's this one little flower right here that's so cute and so fun. I made a quilt like Nicola's, only machine. Yeah. And so this is mine.
A little bit smaller.
A little smaller, but on the back, it's a little smaller, and I'll show you why in a minute. So on the back, my back is all the same. Now I want to point something out with Nicola's.
It's so cute.
Is that she used some bright colored fabric. So she's got red in here and a blue in here and a yellow in here. But when you look at the back then, look at that. Look how cute that is. The little solids that pop here and there.
Cute.
Really
and so that back fabric matters, and there's fun things you can think about to do with that. But the reason my blanket got smaller was because I wanted to see what it would look like as a table runner. How cute is this?
It's so cute.
Isn't that fun?
Adorable.
All right, girls.
We all need one.
Okay.
We all need one. In Christmas,
Mine wandered over again.
Natalie got. So Misty did hers a little different.
Well, yes. So I saw Jenny's flower here, and then I thought, man, I really want mine to look like flowers. But I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. So I had an idea. Instead of using a pack of 5-inch squares, I went and got a fat quarter bundle. This is what I used, and I decided to make my flowers out of the background fabric. So the back of the normal quilt is really the front of mine, and so you can see all these flowers.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
I love it.
So cute.
She
and so
actually cut this part
it's the larger hexie.
out of the hexie. So the large hexie ring was cut out of the fat quarter.
Yeah.
And then she put grays in the center.
And I used yardage for.
And so look
for
at all
this
the
side.
grays. So
It looks so good.
either
It's so
side
fun.
is so cute.
It's so fun, and it makes me so happy. And I did mine on machine as
There,
well.
I think we should kind of hold this up
Okay.
for a minute.
Okay.
There we go.
So cute.
Isn't that so cute?
Yay.
And then let's swap it over so you can see the other side.
And you can still see the flowers a little bit there, but not quite as noticeable. And
Really
so,
cute.
so
All right,
fun.
Natalie.
Okay.
Natalie made a table topper.
I just wanted to see how big it would get with one charm pack. And I also like a circular table topper because I have a square table. So this is
Look how
mine.
cute
I use
that is.
navy
So
for my
cute.
background. So it's just it's solid on the back, but also top stitched with a machine, not by hand.
Yeah.
But as I was making this, I thought it would be super cute if you just took the center out and then left one side open and made a tree skirt. So I made that too.
Christmas tree skirt.
So cute.
So here's my Christmas fabrics, and I left the center open, and then these just
Oh,
go
here.
together.
Here, let me close these pins because they're going to go everywhere. I
And we'll lay it out
I can see that happening. All right, so lay this down.
And this one this is
It's-
2, right? 2 packs?
Well, it's one. Yeah, it's 2.
Okay.
About.
Not quite.
And again,
yeah.
remember, these are great scrap projects because,
Exactly.
because you can do your thing.
Yeah.
You can pick whatever you want.
Yes.
But right here, so we just took the hexagon out of the middle, and then Natalie left this zigzaggy line open here.
I just
To
didn't
lay it
finish one
so
seam
to
so
lay it
that
up
I
around
could put
the
it around
tree.
my tree, and I think it's super cute.
But you'll notice on a lot of hers, this outer ring has the black background, but the other ones are not the same background. They're different. And so when you flip this over, look what you get on the back here.
It's reversible.
And it's so cute. I love how cute it is. Now, you'll notice that you used bigger pieces of fabric for the backs of these because that's bigger than
Yes.
a charm.
Yes.
Yeah, so
had
if you
some
have
scraps, I
layer
thought
cake
they were
squares
really
would work,
cute.
anything like that.
Yep.
The black, is this just yardage?
Yep. Just some yardage I had in my stash.
So darling.
So
All right.
you can be creative and do whatever you want. If you have pieces big enough to cut for the back, then go for it.
Well, and
Right.
all of these
Great.
projects really can be reversible when you think of it that way.
Absolutely,
That's
because
so
look
fun
at the
about it.
front. It's so cute.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, now, since we got carried away and we made a whole bunch of projects.
All the things.
we made you a printable that has a list of all the different things that we've made and the amounts of stuff that you'll need for them so that you can create these too. These are great stash busters.
Yeah.
These are great planned projects, whatever it is that you want to do. It's just really, really fun. So
Yep.
this has been really fun for us. We really enjoyed it. We love the idea of the Quilt As You Go hexagon. Now, one of the things I want to mention about the Quilt As You Go hexagon is that it says 2.5 hexagon. Now, for most of us, that would be like, we think in our brains, we think this way. And this is something I learned, is that you measure a hexagon by the side. And so the side of this is 2.5, and that's what makes this a 2.5 hexagon. It's actually, it actually finishes out at, let's see, this is like 4.5.
And it's like 5 point to point.
Oh, point to point, okay. So 5 inches point to point and 4.5 on the side. So that's good to know because when you see 2.5, you'll go, because
Right.
you think you're going to make teeny
It's gonna
ones,
be tiny.
which would be really cute, right?
But that probably not harder. I'm sure it's fine.
I'm
just
sure it's-
smaller.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure it's fine.
You know me, I love
Not
tiny,
harder.
so
Not harder.
I can't wait for that project.
I want to make it.
So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the Quilt As You Go hexagon from Daisy and Grace with Missouri Star Quilt Company.